Hi guys, and welcome to, as usual, another kit review. Okay, so today we're having a look at a building. It is a ruined German Gasthof, part of Miniart's Building and Accessories series. The kit number is 35538. It is in 1/35 scale, okay, and it is quite tall, alright. The height is 292 millimeters. It is 138 millimeters long, 40 millimeters wide, but it is fairly tall. Okay, so as you can see, it consists of 3 stories, roof and sidewalls, plus a downpipe and gutter. Okay, so really nice looking artwork on the front. This is a damaged building, hence it says ruined, but we'll have a look, see, because it may be possible, if you didn't want a damaged building, to actually fix up the damaged work with a bit of putty or something like this, and actually make a really nice backdrop for your diorama of an undamaged building, or even just for your shelf display. Okay, so that's the artwork. Really nice. I wonder if you can change that. That we'll have to have a look at. This kit cost me around 20 bucks Australian. It was on special, so I believe, I thought, you know, might as well. Okay, I believe it has been, no, it's still available as far as I know, although I'm pretty sure, having been released in 2009, it doesn't have much of a life expectancy left. Okay, on the side, usual warnings: Ukrainian, Russian, English, 14 ages and up. Bit more of the warnings. Miniart's address in the Ukraine. Normal Australian price around $33. Can run, I've seen these up to $45 Australian. This cost me about 20 something bucks, so it was a bargain at the time. On the other side, you've got 5 views of the actual building. Front views, back views, and this does appear to have at least one partial floor in it, and another view from the top showing you the roof and etc, etc. Okay, so this is a ruined building, but like I said, dress it up a bit, make it an undamaged building, perfect for a pre-war, early war backdrop on your shelf, or a diorama. Okay, so that's the box. Let's have a look and see what's inside. Put that over there. As usual, from Miniart, one big bag of sprues. These are your injected molded accessories and your vacuum molds, and a very basic instruction sheet. Okay, so let's get rid of the box. Let's have a look at the instruction sheet. Alright, sprue layout. It says you do get 3 of these. So these are your window frames and your front door, etc. You get, this is your gutter and downpipe, 2 of those, okay? And that's basically as far as the sprue layout is concerned. Then we get straight into building the door and the door frame, the windows and the window frame, putting the 2 halves of the front of the building together, sidewalls, and attaching the sidewalls to the front, and literally that's it. On the back here we've just got the roof section, okay, the guttering. This is your internal floor for just the bottom floor, so there is no internal floor for the top, so that's an easy fix actually if you just copy the pattern for this one, and you might be able to get away with putting 2 floors in there, and then it's just a matter of attaching the gutter parts together, downpipe, putting the windows in, and she's done. And then you just paint it. And because this is a European building, you could paint this almost any color you wanted to, not necessarily what the box art shows. Okay, so that's the instructions. Fairly simple, fairly straightforward. Okay, naturally enough, the work is all in putting the vacuum form together and cleaning it all up. Okay, so I'll get rid of these, and in a second we will have a look at the plastic parts. Okay, so let's have a look at the first injected molded, which is your downpipe. Okay, so you do get 2 sprues of that. I'll put that one aside and we'll have a look at this one. What I've seen on a lot of the Miniart building kits with their plastic parts is a lot of flash. Okay, there is a lot of cleanup on these parts. So once this downpipe and the gutter, this is the gutter section here, and the downpipe is together, it will need a lot of cleaning. I would probably build it together, put it together first, and then paint it after I've cleaned it all up and made sure it all fits, and then I would fit it to the building. Okay, so as I said, you get 2 of those, fair bit of flash on those. So come to window frames, you do get 1, 2, 3, all exactly the same. Okay, so we'll get rid of those 2 and let's have a look. So this is a standard Miniart part. I've seen these bits and pieces in other building kits. The fence railings are not used in this kit. These wooden shutters are used on the ruined village house, I believe. Same with these ones, are used on another building. Okay, window frames, yes. This one appears to be damaged already. Everything going in together, you're going to get that. Window frames and the door. Now, the thing I've noticed with the Miniart is, where are you, Jacques? Okay, so Jacques is my standard Frenchman. That is a very large door. Okay, it is probably a 2.5 meter door. I would be surprised if a Gasthof actually had a 2.5 meter door. I would say this door is quite, well, way too tall. So I would be looking at that and saying, I wonder if I can fix it. Have a look at the accessory kits online, see if there's any doors, or even just make one up out of plastic card and shorten it, put in a step or something to make it look a little bit more scale size. One thing I've noticed about Miniart, their doors, and I believe their windows, because where are you? Their windows are quite big, quite tall, okay? But especially the doors are very tall. Okay, so having said that, let's have a look at the detail. Now, you'll see what appears to be a wood texture. It's actually just flow lines in the plastic. It's not actually a wood texture. You won't use those anyway, but in the door it's the same. Right? You won't get a wood texture on a door anyway, but that's something to be aware of with these kits. If you have these, there's no wood texture, it's just a flow line in the plastic, and once you paint it you will not see it, which is a slight drawback. You don't use these, but this is endemic of these kits. You will see a lot of flash in between parts, and also on window frames, etc, etc. These are not too bad. That's a bit of a concern, but because there are three of these, I might actually be able to get away with not using that one. Okay, so that is the window frames and the front door. There are 7 vacuum formed sheets in this kit, some of them quite small, like this one and this one. So this is your damaged roof, okay? So really fairly plain tiles. This is a, as you can see, corner wall section. Then the detail is really nice, okay? On both of these, the detail is really nice. I can see some little pips and things, moulding and indents from the vacuum forming, which will need to be cleaned up. So they can be filled and the other ones can be sanded down. That's easy enough. That is going to be tricky to cut out, so that will take a lot of patience, okay, to just go around those edges and cut that out. And the same for the brickwork. It just takes patience and care to work your way around, and usually it's not that hard. Like I said, you just take your time. You literally just take your time with that. Okay, so that's those 2 sections. So next we've got this bit, which is one of the side walls. I'll put it up that way so you can see what it actually is. Okay, 2 halves, okay, fairly straightforward. This section here is, let's see if I can show it to you. This bit here goes underneath the roof, okay, so that's fairly easy cut out because it's got straight sides. Again, just a bit of care cutting out the bricks. Okay, let's have a look at the close-up. Okay, so you can see here and here, these are little pips and indents, etc., caused by the vacuum forming. Okay, especially a dent there and there. Easy enough to clean up just by soft sand. It doesn't take that much. Painting the bricks up will be entirely your choice as to what color. Light stone, light brown, dark red. That's an easy one. Whatever your preference is. That's the good thing about these. You can paint these buildings up to any color scheme that suits. Okay, so one thing about these vacuum formed is, I'll turn it over, no locating pins. Okay, no locating pins at all. What I normally do, this excess here, I cut that up, glue it inside the wall, and it becomes a locating pin for the other side. And it doesn't matter if you use a strip or bits and pieces, whatever suits, and so long as it is a locating edge to make it easier for this part to glue together and to actually sit properly. Okay, so that is one of the side walls. This is the other one, and this one is all brick. Okay, doesn't have any plaster on it. So you've got an internal and an external wall, easily painted up, nicely painted up, will look quite well, spectacular. There are here and here a few, yeah, there is 1 or 2 little pips on there that need to be cleaned up, but nothing dramatic, nothing that like I've seen on some other kits. Alright, so that's an easy cleanup, and once that's painted up, okay, that will look really, really nice. Like I said, light brown, dark brown, red brown. Okay, overall, pick out all the individual bricks, give it a nice overall wash with the base color, you know, dress it up a bit. It will look really, really nice. So I do like the detail on the bricks on these. Okay, so that's the other side wall. Okay, so what we have here, this is underneath the roof, damaged roof section, and as you can see, there are the pips from the vacuum forming. Okay, and this is your internal floor section for the lower part. So that's damaged, of course. You could fix that up quite well if you didn't want a damaged building. It wouldn't be that hard, and you could almost copy that in plastic card to get something very similar for the next floor up. So the detail is right, it's quite nice. There's no wood grain texture, but it will paint out really well, and because that's the internal roof, you will not see that actually. Not unless you're looking for it. So there is a wood grain texture on the flooring, but as I said, that's a damaged flooring. Cover that with a piece of thin plastic card or something, and all of a sudden you've got carpet. Quite easy. Or even have a look at the aftermarket carpets that are available for these kind of kits and put one of those down. Yeah, and she's done. Okay, and then that brings us to the last two. So this is your internal wall. Okay, so your floor goes here. This is where the top floor should be, and obviously broken off and fallen down. So you would want a lot of rubble on this floor and also down here if you built this as a damaged building, because this would be literally rubble showing through the door and the window and everything. This is a tall building, there's a lot to it. This is the top where the roof sits. Okay, fairly plain, plastered inside, brickwork. Yes, paint that up. If this is a damaged building, you could darken that, make it look like it's been burnt out. Okay, little bit of cleanup, a few pips and things like that around the door and window edges. Sand that down, but not too hard, because if you sand it too hard, you'll end up with a hole which you will have to fill. Okay, so that's the back. And the only other bit that I have to show you is the actual front. Okay, windows. Unfortunately, that is part of the moulding. So if I wanted that to be not the Gasthof Kaiser, I would have to cover that with a piece of plastic card and put another sign on it, which would not be too hard at all. Okay, as you can see, this is a damaged building, but if I wanted to make this a new building for a backdrop, and there's no reason why you can't build these and put the time in to fix them up so that you fix up all the damage, make it a new building. You can actually use this as a pre-war or early war scene in any village. Cover that sign up, replace it with a French cafe sign or something like that, and this is a French building. or a Dutch building, or a Austrian building, Czech building, anywhere in Europe this building would fit, as long as it didn't show you that. And if it showed you that, it's somewhere in Germany. Okay, so that's entirely up to you. That's something that I would be looking at. I'm not sure if I want to make this a damaged building or a new one, so when I eventually get around to building it, I'll make up my mind then. So let's have a look at the detail. Okay, there is, so don't worry about those because they're going, but oops, sorry, there is cleanup required around these windowsills. Okay, you can see the pips there, they will need to be sanded down. They're evident on all those windows and even on the bottom of the front window, and a little couple of bits and pieces along the bottom of the actual wall itself. Okay, but apart from that, that's really quite nice, quite easy. Okay, like I said, the only thing that concerns me about these kits, and that I would be looking at in seriously, is how big that door is. That's a huge door. Okay, so I would be looking at working out to make that possibly that smaller door. Even there is better than what it is. Yep, so that's the one thing I've noticed about this. Once it's got the frame in, it might not be too bad, but I do feel that Miniart's doors are just a tad too big. Okay, so that's it. That brings us to the end of this one. That is Miniart's ruined German Gasthof. Okay, looks like a really easy Miniart kit. Not too many angles or anything like this to work on. Just a matter of taking your time when you cut out the vacuum form. The trickiest part about all of it is the windows. Okay, once you've cut those out, if the actual window frames don't fit properly, you don't have much scope for sanding them down without creating a hole. So that's something you need to be careful with, but it is not impossible. Lots of people have done it. There's no reason why you can't. Anyway guys, that brings us to the end of this review. I hope you've got something from it as usual, and what else is to say except thank you very much for watching. Thanks for watching all of my videos, and until next time, take it easy and I'll see you later.